Look at that. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes and I'm out of the sun.
Hi, John Kuiper. Do you know that you were one of the featured artists on the art walk last night?
Oh, I that was pretty cool.
Look, it looked really good. They showed all your beautiful stones and rocks, and it's permanently up on the internet. And now the city of Sherwood has it there.
Well, I'll have to take a look at it because I wasn't able to do the online thing because I had a different online thing I was on. So that's good that there's a place I can take a look.
But go looking for it. I said, oh my gosh, he's a featured artist. So, yep. Leah Burgess is the one who made the video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't need a password to get in. Did anyone need a password to get in this morning?
I didn't either.
You did, that's because you used the link, and the link had the password built in. If you had just gone to Zoom to log in manually, you would have needed it.
Well, that was very clever of you. Awesome.
Well, I don't. Me, that was Zoom. Uh-oh. Oh, there's Mark.
Good morning.
Morning, Mark.
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, nice background. That's good stuff.
Well, so who? Which one? Everybody's got fun backgrounds.
I like the ham and eggs.
I'm in the other office.
The satellite office.
But he didn't notice any other changes for you, Tim.
Oh, did you notice that the bell dialed in?
Perfect.
Next to R2D2, of course.
Yes, and Yoda.
I actually rather like hearing John talk because it sounds like he's on the NASA space capsule with his audio.
Oh, really?
Just, John, interrupt periodically and say, we're breaking up. We're breaking up.
Yeah.
Mayday, mayday.
Houston, we have a problem.
I think we should all have a moment of silence for Kim because this is what, her second week back in the real world.
Oh,
I
I can't imagine. Oh,
That's a shock at multiple levels.
It really is.
The Oregon and Corona. And I'm not talking the one she's been drinking all last 3 months.
I'm missing it.
There's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning.
And I see Maureen.
Hi.
And Travis joined us, but we can't see that. There he is.
Go. Howdy.
Now, I'm curious, are Mike and Lynette practicing social distancing in the same house? It looks...
No, I'm at work at my desk and at home, and he's at work too, at his real work.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're in the same house, different rooms. Just you're not having a fight or nothing. Just checking up on
No, yeah. Thanks, Doug.
Notice how Mike stayed quiet through that whole interaction.
I sent him to work.
I know.
What, that cot, I know. Why does Mike have a cot in his office?
Hey, Doug, I know when to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what's going on at the bakery?
Just making a lot of bread. A lot of bread, a lot of buns.
Just
a lot of
business,
English muffins.
business as usual.
Business more than usual, actually. We're finally slowing down a little bit. We were running 7 days. Now we're down to about 5.5 right now. So.
Well, good on you guys.
There was I saw an interesting article yesterday about the problems that the produce growers in Florida are having because so much of their market went to the cruise ship and to the theme parks in Florida. And now there's a huge abundance of unmarketable produce that they're basically plowing under.
Along those lines, Ben, I saw a news story last night that dairy farms are having to dump milk because they have to milk the cows, but because the schools aren't buying milk, they have way too much milk.
Right.
Sell it all.
I'm a vegan. I'm happy that the cows are going to get some. I don't think milk's a good thing, guys.
I can go upstairs.
Hey, I do have a tip if anyone wants it. Do you know Caruso Vegetables, I think, or Caruso Produce in Tualatin?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing curbside veggie and fruit box pickup. If you want to get fresh, and they normally supply the restaurants in the area. So they don't need the business, but they think it might help the people that don't want to go into the supermarket to pick up the vegetables. If anyone wants the information, I can put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat,
Awesome.
Krissi. I'm interested.
Thank you, Krissi.
Our table is doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's $30 a box.
Yep, I know our table. That works too.
Awesome. Well, it is 7 o'clock. Is it time to get going here?
We're ready.
There's no better place to be in the morning.
You jumped the gun.
I got excited.
I heard a bell.
It was... Good job, Shane.
Hey, here we go. Ready?
Karen.
Hi.
Did everybody hear the bell?
I heard both.
Awesome. All right. Let's get going here. I'll share the screen. All right. Everybody see the screen?
Looks nice.
Yeah, lovely.
All right, and I can still see you guys. Okay, well, welcome to the meeting. Sorry, I'm getting my clickers organized so I can actually advance slides. All right, oops. Anyways, best place to be, well, Doug already said it, so I won't say it. Thanks, Doug. Better than a national holiday today. So I thought there was a plethora of national holidays today and over this weekend. So in the interest of everyone having something to do while we're holed up in our homes, I thought I would share a few with you. The first one is National Siblings Day. So call your brothers or sisters and see how they're doing. Anyone recognize those two? What movie that's from?
Brothers.
Step Brothers, that's right. It's also a National Cinnamon Crescent Day. So if you're interested in baking something, that might be something to try out. And let's see here. It's also, this is my favorite, National 8-Track Tape Day. Anybody still have an 8-track tape player? No?
Negative.
Negative?
I do. And
I do in my MG.
Ooh, that's even more impressive. I actually collect that garbage, that kind of old junk.
I actually had an 8-track tape player, and I actually had a Rush 8-track tape, and I actually found a picture of one, so I thought I'd highlight that today, being one of my top 5 bands. It's also National Encourage a Young Writer Day. I thought of that one because I have one of my daughters really loves writing, and she's been doing a lot of writing during our stay-at-home order. It's also a National Big Wind Day. Let me mute Chuck right now so he can't say anything. But if you like a breeze, it's National Big Wind Day. And it's National Pet Day for all of us that have pets. And that's our dog. That's Barley there, in case you're wondering. And that is it. So welcome to the meeting. Kate couldn't be here today. She wanted me to pass along, for those of you who don't know her, her father is in hospice now, and he's in his final days. So she's with her family and dealing with that right now. But so Kate's an amazing person. She keeps that store running, and I can't say enough, but she asked that I share that with you and asked for everyone's thoughts and prayers as her family works through this. feel free to send her a note if you would like. I do believe that Lynette is doing our inspiration this morning.
Yeah.
And
You were going to put something up for me. There you go.
There you go.
Well, I'll have to give Mike credit. He found this for me, this that picture and this poem that I'm going to read to you. It's by John Mark Green. It's called Pandemic Affirmation. May the love in our hearts never have to be rationed. Let enforced isolation lead to deeper connection. May we all work as one, whatever might face us. In this fight to survive, we'll stay strong and courageous. That's all.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. All right. And so do we have any anniversaries or birthdays today?
I'm hesitant to admit this, but had an anniversary last week.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Hey, you can't leave it at that.
Do you want to share which one?
We have Fred had his 4-year Rotary anniversary on Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Come on, Ben. What's the number?
63.
Woohoo!
All right.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Hey, Tim, somebody is typing on their keypad, and I can certainly hear it. I'm wondering if everybody should be reminded to put their mute on if they're
That's
not
my fault. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Demerit for Bruce. I'd like the record to reflect that.
Yeah, 2 demerits. I typed 2 characters.
You know, we could have typing fines.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We as a club are positive. We reward good behavior and not focus on the bad.
Wah, wah. Anyways, any other birthdays or anniversaries, Lynette?
Sorry, that was it.
Okay, awesome. Youth exchange update. Tom made it safely home, or at least made it to Austria. I don't know if he made it out of Austria to home. Do we have an update, Wendy?
The last I heard, I think he actually made it to Slovakia, but I could be wrong. But his mother posted a picture of him going into the hut that he'll be in for 14 days while he's quarantined by the government.
Well, that's a good sign he made it, which is awesome. And for those of you that don't know, Chuck organized a parade past Tom's host family's house the night before he left, and tons of people showed up. We had lots of cars, lots of Tom's friends from high school showed up. It was a lot of fun, and there's a video. Doug, I'll get that video to you. If we haven't, we could post that on our
Or actually, I've been popping off on Facebook a little with the People in Power campaign stuff. But if you just go onto Facebook and go onto our page, you'll find a link. I have it on our YouTube channel.
Awesome.
So again, just search or go to our Facebook page and you'll see that link real quick.
Awesome.
And actually, like the link, forward the little thing, just trying to get a little awareness for us.
Perfect.
Tom uses Facebook Messenger, and he's communicated a couple of times, and I have his home address. He says he's home.
Oh, awesome. All right, Wendy, do we have any other exchange news for next year?
We know that we're going to be having an exchange student, a young woman from Germany, and I'm working right now with the school to try to get our guarantee form signed so that we know that we can get her registered, and then I'll be able to turn that into the district, and then we'll be able to share more information. And the Southwell family is interested in hosting, and so that's really good. And then I know that Mike and Lynette have offered to be our first host family for the first try, and we really appreciate that. And so we are still in need of a family for either winter or spring. The Southwells have not confirmed which try they would prefer, but we're working on that. And then we've got both Levi and Matthew on the call today. So that's great. Thanks, guys, for coming. They might have something they want to share.
Levi,
Yeah, sure.
Matthew?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either one. Matthew, do you want to start?
Sure, yeah, sounds good. So for the past week, I've been trying to speak a little every day with my siblings in Spanish, but I'm mainly just having like lead conversations with them, but that's okay. Like it'll get there eventually. And my brother-in-law Nick, his family's from like Mexico, and he has this game. It's kind of like Speed, and it's like it helps you with Spanish, and it's really cool. So I'm mainly just working on Spanish. Last week I was mainly looking up information about Mexico and stuff like that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
What about you, Levi?
Yeah, my hair has increased like 3-fold since the last time you guys saw me. My family back home put in a lot of money, unfortunately, into sending me a package from my host family and my first host family. So I got a bunch of gifts from our very own Kate Noreen, as well as all sorts of neighbors and friends of the family and my own family as well. And yeah, as far as quarantine goes here, it's pretty similar to Oregon right now. A lot of social distancing stuff, and they're looking to kind of lay off the restrictions a little bit in the next couple weeks, but we'll kind of see how that goes in the future. And yeah, that's about it.
Hey, Levi, I had a question for you. How are you handling, or are you, because you're very musical, and I don't see you sending your instrument over there. How are you dealing with that?
It's hell. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck without an instrument for the next however long I decide to stay here, because it's a little difficult not having like a resource, I guess, something to turn to when you don't have social contact as much. So I don't know. It's a little tough, but I'll just keep on hitting my bed and whatnot.
Hey, Karen, we
Yes.
have Levi performing last year's district conference, and it was just brilliant. And we have a link to that from our Facebook post. Maybe you can put it in the newsletter just to kind of refresh our memories. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful, and that just came to mind right now.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you, Doug, is for the parade that we did for Thomas, is there a way to extract a still photo from that?
Sure.
Okay, because I would love to send one into the district newsletter, the fact that we did it. So
it's taken on a phone, so it might not be the best picture, but I could grab a screenshot or two and send it to you. And
yeah, that would be great, because there's a couple shots where he's going up to the car to receive a gift. So that would be great if you can email that to me, and I'll forward it on.
Love it. I like your thinking.
Great.
Yeah, nice.
You know, Karen, kind of along those lines, you know, for potential article for the Gazette, like a human interest story about our exchange student and the parade and all that, that might be a great way of advertising the program.
Yeah, and I thought it might be interesting if he's willing to do an article about Matthew going to, out next year. So we can work on that for next month.
What do you think, Matthew?
That sounds so awesome.
You'll have to add a few sentences in Spanish to make it come to life.
Hey, yeah. That'd be really cool.
Awesome. Super cool. All right. Let's see. So we did club announcements. We'll go on to club announcements. This has now become a very short part of our meeting, but pretty much everything is canceled right now. Any updates from anyone? I have a few you might be interested in. For instance, the wine festival that 503 puts on has been canceled for this year. They tried to push that out into the fall, but it conflicted with harvest season with a lot of the wineries, so they just couldn't make it work. So they're going to focus on next year. And I believe Cruisin' was canceled.
No.
Oh, cruising has not been canceled?
It's not going to happen when originally scheduled. They're looking at September.
They're looking at
It's not locked in for September, but that is what they're currently considering.
Okay. Was that Mr. Mays?
Yes.
Awesome.
It is the Groundhog Day pandemic.
That is a great analogy. Good lessons there too. Thank you, Keith. Any other updates or community updates in terms of our events that anyone wants to highlight?
Is Gary on by chance? I'm just wondering.
I don't see Gary.
Do we know if Ryla's still happening in July?
The what?
Ryla? Rotary Youth Leadership Award in July. Is curious.
I have not heard what the status of Ryla is yet. Okay. I will make a note to send an email and ask.
Just remember, Tim, we have the Carolyn Ross Memorial Award for that. Just a little reminder and remembrance of Carolyn.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Doug.
And
All
Tim,
right.
Tim, you'll send out a notice about the board meeting on Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the board members or anyone else who wants to attend, it's the same link, same meeting ID, and same password that we use for the regular meetings. So, but I'll send out a notice for that. That'll be Monday at 6:30 on Zoom. So great chance for those that would like to attend that haven't wanted to make the commute to the senior center for prior meetings. All right.
I have one more thing. I went to the district conferences online, and they were really, really good. There were lots of people and all kinds of stuff. It was a good use of time. I don't know if I've ever spent 3 hours, online at a district conference. So that was a new experience, but quite valuable.
I'd like to do a brag on Tim on that note. I joined in on the public image one, which actually for me, it wasn't exactly all that wonderful, but it's all about the networking. Got to talk to some others. But the compliment to Tim goes, the effort that Tim has put into this to make this meeting and the way we're behaving and talking come to life is so appreciated because it was just not there with the district conference. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. Okay, so I think we can move on to brags. So I'm going to stop the share here. And Mike, do you want to start the brag process?
Sure, we'll get started here. We'll start with the bottom of my screen, so I'll give you a second to unmute yourself once I call your name. Verity, do you have anything this morning?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot going on over here.
Okay.
I finished reading Harry Potter, the first book, to my niece via FaceTime. That's about the big excitement. And then unfortunately, I just checked it out of the library online, and for the second book, there's like a 9 to 12 week delay. So my older sister has the books, and I'm gonna figure out how to get them from her so that we can keep going. But that's the fun in my life.
Cool. Maureen, do you have anything this morning?
No, not really. Just, happy everybody's healthy, and that you guys all seem to be here. That's good. So, but everybody's good on our side. So, just happy about that.
Thank you. Mark?
Nothing today. Thank you.
Thank you. Shane?
So Shane is our guest speaker today.
Oh, okay.
So he might not be used to our brag process.
Okay, no worries. Jeff, do you have anything this morning?
Well, I'm just thankful we have some blue sky and sunshine. It was kind of nice. We got all our patio furniture out and using our new deck, only to have everything get up the next morning and have everything be colored in pollen. So that is what it is.
Jamie, do you have anything this morning?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I just want to echo the sunshine. I'm so grateful for that. It's really the pick me up for everything that's been happening. But with the sunshine has come, like, my garden is starting to sprout. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Chuck, we have anything this morning?
Here we go.
I'd like to brag on Lisa Austin for coming out with me so that we could have this wonderful background of me sitting in Tim's front yard at his fire pit this morning, waiting for Tim to show up. Anytime you want to come out and start this sucker would be great, because it's a little bit chilly out here today.
Tim, don't worry. I have called the police.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do they have matches? Do those fellows have matches?
No matches. A couple of femurs, that's about it.
They are matchless.
Keith, I hope you called the emergency line on that.
It is an emergency.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, so if I could just go next real quick. So yesterday, I'm driving home from, I think I was going to the grocery store, and I'm pulling up the street, and there's a strange car parked in front of my house. And as soon as they saw me, they kind of bolted and went down to the cul-de-sac, but never came back. So I stood out on my front porch waiting to see who this strange car was, and it finally came back, and sure enough, it was Chuck. And I yelled at him, and they're like, "Oh, we're just out driving around." Now I know why. Now I know why.
We know why. Well done. Well done.
Yes. So my brag is for you today, Chuck.
Thank you.
Release the hounds. Let Bailey after that intruder.
Yeah, and then and just real quickly, I'll finish up real quick. You can see that I'm in my new office today, and I got some of my favorite pictures hanging on the wall.
Absolutely.
And in case you're wondering, that's from Keith and I's trip together to China, where we had some Peking duck at a restaurant.
All right, I think we'll move on.
Yeah.
Travis, do you have anything this morning? Travis? Maybe Travis is having some technical difficulties.
I heard.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's my fault. Yeah, we're all kind of confused around the Harper house. We've got we did a Thanksgiving dinner last night, made a whole turkey. So we were representing, winter, working on our garden in the spring, and it was 80 degrees yesterday. So it kind of felt.
Uh-oh. We lost you, Travis.
Well, maybe we'll come back to Travis.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to Travis. Gary, do you have anything this morning? Gary, can you hear us?
All right. Sorry, this isn't touchscreen. One thing I was just noticing with 30 participants, it looks like in this meeting, better than normal Rotary meetings. Let's not make this a habit when we can get back to face-to-face.
Hear, hear.
Great. All right, Lynn, do you have anything this morning?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm glad to see Chuck's having a good time because he's been working really hard at the office and it's been pretty serious there for the last couple of weeks. So glad to see him smiling and having fun today.
Nice.
I can imagine it's been a little hectic with the market lately.
Just a tad. Still waiting for Tim to come out and start the fire, though.
Karen, do you have anything this morning?
Yes, I'm just happy because I have finished my taxes.
Yay.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Kim, how about you? Bye.
Not much to report. Just happy one day to get out of my house. So we did the 14-day quarantine when we got back. And then the very next day, Gina got sick. So we started the 14-day quarantine again, just in case.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, I hope she gets better soon.
Me too.
All right.
Is Gina at home with you?
She is.
Is she showing signs of COVID?
Oh yeah, we've all got the really achy bodies. She came down with pink eye. No fear. She's got a little bit of a cough. They don't seem too concerned. We've had a couple doctor's appointment videos, and they just, she cares for an older lady. She's a nurse, and they said, yeah, go to work. It's like, I don't think so.
What?
Yeah.
I don't
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Give her our best.
Thanks.
Yes.
Matthew, did you have anything to add?
Me?
Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to brag about, or pretty much said
Oh.
everything earlier?
Actually, yesterday, my hair was annoying me, so I cut it off myself.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It looks pretty long, Matthew. Are you sure?
Yeah, I totally shaved the sides. I was just like, I just got some scissors and I was like, I'm kind of done with this. It was so funny. And then I'm actually gonna, so we have a garden right now, and each of the kids get a box for themselves to like take care of. I'm gonna do like, I think zucchini and cucumbers. That's gonna be cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Matthew. Krissi, do you have anything this morning?
Yeah, I think it's been a while since I gave any updates. So for those that don't know, Nick was in Spain. He came home on March 12th, which was super wonderful for us. And then I think the day before that, my daughter officially graduated high school because she had the foresight to think about doing that back in August. So we feel particularly fortunate to have, both of those concerns kind of taken care of before we hit the, and it's just pure luck and maybe blessings. And, we don't know why we dodged those two bullets, but we're pretty fortunate about that. And then Randy works for Washington County. So he got activated with the emergency operations team much earlier in the month of March. And so he continues to go into the office. I'm still working, I'm in banking, and so it's essential services. So it seems that every bank is putting in extended hours. So working from home around the globe has made the days incredibly long. But
yeah, I bet.
Is wonderful. I would be up anyway and working. So I just appreciate that you all are here and have such good and positive messages and community spirit. So thanks for kicking off my Friday.
John, you have anything this morning?
Yeah, I guess the only thing is, seemed like we had a big, empty nester kind of house, but because of, the dorms and everything closing down and all of the turmoil, Barry's daughter Anna's moved in with us, and my daughter Lauren's moving back in on Saturday. And then we're scheduled to host someone for 6 months who's got an internship. They're from Corvallis. So all of a sudden we'll have 5 people in a house that I thought was just going to be 2. So weird times.
Woo! Fun times.
Awesome. Jane, you have anything this morning?
Yes, a great big shout out to Tim. He helped the Peace Building Committee get a Zoom meeting going, and we had about 9 people, and that was good. And he spent hours, and I'm very appreciative. And the international committee between Sherwood and Newburgh is doing all kinds of interesting things. Our banners are coming together, and if I could, I would show you what it looks like, but I can't. And I'll catch up with you another time. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Jane.
Joe, do you have anything while you're working over there?
He wasn't working.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
What? Yeah, way to look good for your bosses.
No, I'm
It looks
sorry.
Like you're working, right?
Trying to sneak in some work between virtual meeting hell today. So I think I have 5 virtual meetings, unfortunately, but I think we're all going through that. So anyway, kudos to Sherwood. You may have seen we posted about this. We're the 4th highest participation of the census so far in the state of Oregon.
Woohoo! That is damn good news.
So if you, we're not competitive at all. So West Lynn is right above us. I really want to beat them.
So Joe, does it help that I did the form 10 times?
Yes, keep doing that, Tim. Good job. If you have not done your census, it's very easy and it's all online now if you trust online, or you can mail it in. The Census Bureau actually has some really cool tools. You can see participation rates in interactive maps, state by state, nationally, and it's some pretty cool use of technology. So anyway, get your census done. Take advantage of the time. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Joe. Bruce, how about you this morning?
I don't know if it's on. Is it on?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I want to give thanks to Corey at the chamber, and we did a update on the presentation from last week regarding the various COVID business resources, and particular thanks to our IT department so that I could actually have that presentation. I see that the Fed, if I'm reading this correctly, is going to be helping to get more money out into the economy. So that would all be good news now. So anyway, I hope everyone is well. I just glad that we're into summer now, or at least what I think is summer. Maybe I'm wrong. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Bruce. And just so you know, I had my president's meeting on Monday, and word got out about some of these presentations you're doing, and I had Wilsonville Rotary and Newburgh, both Rotary clubs in Newburgh were asking about you presenting to them and their communities as well. But don't worry, I made no commitments for you. But
No.
But I know I didn't make any commitments. But I do think it's wonderful that, especially for Wilsonville, because they're a little bit of our nemesis. They were looking to you as opposed to their own economic development manager. So kudos.
Yeah. Okay. I'll handle that carefully.
Tim, since you recorded that meeting, you could just forward the recording of our meeting that Bruce presented.
Well, funny story there, because I failed and forgot to hit the record
Oh no!
meeting. Yes. So we are recording this meeting, however.
I'll tell you the funny thing. I was listening in part. I just happened to turn on the YouTube that Corey did, and I had no idea I had such a New Jersey accent. I never hear my own voice, so I'm not sure I want to hear it again.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Doug, you have anything this morning?
A couple things. First off, thank you to Karen again. She's been posting links to our webpage. If you guys aren't connected on our webpage, do, because we have a very good program pages that John and I tend to flush out, and that's where all the notes are and stuff. So if you go to the webpage in the Roundup News link, you'll see Bruce's stuff. You'll see Bruce's slides. And unfortunately for Bruce, no recording, but you can get, and that's for all of our programs. We try to do a pretty good job of that. For the entertainment of the group, I am posting a fun little link up in chat. It'll give you a giggle, hopefully after this meeting. It's a little YouTube thing. And then the last thing is I'm just getting some news on Stuart and North Carolina. He's my oldest son, and looks like we're going to be dealing with some medical stuff there. More to follow right now. It's just stuff that we're dealing with. So there it is for me.
All right, thank you.
Stuart's in the U.S. Army. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's a specialist in the military. He's getting out in July. And
July.
it looks like they're not stop lossing him, so that's when they prevent you from going out of the service during a time like this. It does not look like that's happening, but I also know that from a recruitment perspective, the military forces are kind of really hurting right now. I don't think that's unique to the military, because I'm going to go out on a limb and probably say the Peace Corps and all that good stuff is also hurting from their inability to get out right now. So just keep that in mind for just general public servant stuff, because that's what it all falls under.
Levi, did you have anything to add, or?
Yeah, sure. So nothing really noteworthy has been happening, but I did get the box that I mentioned, and 2 days ago I took part in a firing squad in which I was the convict, and my host family shot me with a little monkey that you
Oh my gosh.
that, and it screams. I just figured that out. Okay. And a little Paxolotl, and then use them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and Bigfoot. Yeah, so that's about it.
All right, thanks, Levi. Lynette, do you have anything this morning?
I'll just brag on you for going out last night and getting our propane tanks filled so we could barbecue. That was nice.
Thank you. Maya, do you have anything?
I wanted to just say thank you to our local city government at a time right now where I feel a little bit abandoned by some of the higher, I don't know, the bigger governments. We just feel that our local government has made us feel pretty well taken care of. Bruce has been doing a really good job getting information back to us and getting calls from the representatives, thanks to Tim, I think. And I've got Senator Wyden's office calling me. So I just feel like at least we're being watched out for, and it's because of the city of Sherwood. So thank you guys for all that you're doing. And then let's see, on a personal front, I think I shared last week that my older son had tried to crash a class at Harvard and ended up as a guest speaker. And so he now has a weekly gig as a guest speaker at a class at Harvard. So that's been kind of cool. And then my younger son, Diego, was an exchange student here last year at Sherwood from Italy. And so he's been invited to go to his English classes, and he started attending those and having some really good conversations with the class and the instructors about everything that's going on here and everything that's going on there. And it's just, I think it's more fun for the kids to have someone their own age to communicate with. So that's been super fun that they can make, some good things happen out of this situation. And then finally, so my younger son was scheduled to graduate from high school this June, and he's still graduating. He left Sherwood a couple of years ago. And what's funny is that everyone else is so sad about graduation not happening. And he's sad about some of the other things not happening, but he was dreading graduation because he wasn't allowed to participate in the ceremony. And he knew he had to go, and that everyone would ask him a million questions, and he just didn't want to do it. And so he is personally thrilled that there's no graduation. So he's on the other side of things, but that's it from here.
Awesome, thank you, Matt. Wendy, do you have anything this morning?
Yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to Krissi. She monitored all of the flights that Tom was on his journey to get back to Slovakia. I think she might have actually had to stay up till the wee hours of the morning on one. And so really appreciate you monitoring his travel, telling him what gates he was going to. That was very, very appreciative. Also wanted to thank Jane for spending the time to figure out how to be a Zoom leader so that she could lead us in that Peace Builder meeting on Monday. That was wonderful. Shout out again to the folks that are volunteering and working at the senior center and making sure that our seniors are getting a nice, healthy, and delicious meal. And also a shout out to Helping Hands. Their volume is again running about 70% higher than normal. So if you have an opportunity to write a check to them, it would be very well received. On a personal note, we hope to be able to pick Liz up in Tacoma on Sunday. Her sister's going to drive her that far. We're going to drive up and pick her up and bring her back to Sherwood. So we're anxious to get her home.
Hey.
And then Karen twisted her arm to confirm that she would be our speaker at the next, our next Friday meeting. So anyway,
awesome.
That's it.
Wonderful.
Ben, do you have anything this morning?
A couple of things. I guess I kind of jumped the gun on that 63-year thing, but anyway, as far as Kim's comment on the coronavirus, Sandy had the same interview with her with a doctor, and the doctor said, "Yeah, you've got all the signs. You probably do have it. So if you can't get tested unless you have serious complications, and if you go to the hospital to get tested, you have to be entered, and then if you test positive, there's no recourse. You have to go into the hospital then. So
wow.
So therefore, we're just kind of sitting it out at home. And if Sandy tested positively over the telephone, I've probably been a carrier. So I don't have any signs, except I've had kind of a cold for, maybe 5-6 weeks, something like that, which is unusual for me. So, just along the lines that Kim was moving, I think there are a lot of us that have it that don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thank you, Ben. Keith, do you have anything this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Bruce, shout out to you and Joe and the city. Monday, the city started cutting checks to 94 different Sherwood businesses that received a grant from the city to help them bridge the gap between getting federal dollars, or hopefully they're able to get federal dollars in this tough time. So appreciate all the hard work that Joe did to make that happen, and Bruce in supporting him on that. Took all of like 7 days from start to finish, and no one in the state came close to that, or the level of support that we've given per capita or any metric. $200,000 for a small town like us was great. Bruce, being new to Oregon, this is not the start of summer. This is just a teaser. Summer really doesn't start until July 5th. Rain will be back before you know it, and it will rain and rain and rain. So don't get confused. And that's about it. Oh, Mike, speaking of, yes, I think a lot of us have, or a lot of people we know have this COVID. And one of my colleagues in Switzerland is now home in bed. So I'm a little bit concerned about him. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Keith. Travis, you want to give it another try?
Yeah, howdy. Sorry I cut out there. But sorry, Keith, I'm just about as confused as everybody else, because we had a Thanksgiving dinner this week, and we made a turkey and everything. But then we had a summer barbecue last night, and now we're getting ready for our garden. So I don't know. It's something to brag about, but yeah, we're pretty confused in the Harper house.
All right, thank you, Travis. Tim, did you have anything else?
No, I think everyone covered some of the stuff I wanted to talk about, especially Keith, and kudos to the city and everything that's going on out there. And Jane, kudos to you for taking the time to really make sure you understood how to use Zoom so you could have a successful that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed working with you on that, so thank you for that.
Tim, one thing, we still need people for inspirations for the 17th and the 24th.
Okay. All right, so we're running a little bit. Mike, did we get through everybody? We're running a little bit late here.
Yeah, we're good.
Tim, I forgot to say one thing that's rather significant. I apologize to your kids and your beautiful better half for being higher up in your priority by being featured in your office and not your family. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Anyways, John, did you want to introduce our speaker?
Yeah, sure. So this morning we are pleased to have Shane Hanson to talk about progression athletics. And I took a quick look at the webpage, but it looks like it's doing a lot of good stuff, helping youth get developed through sports. And so with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Shane. And Shane, sorry we kept you waiting here.
No worries. Can you hear me, John? Thank you very much for the introduction.
Hey, Shane. Hey,
Yeah.
This is Travis. Hey, can you all hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Shane, also for getting up this early on Good Friday, and appreciate you putting together this presentation. Shane, just to add a little bit about Shane, he lives in Boise, wife and 3 kids, new baby. So this is a especially exciting time for him to be quarantined. So I'll let him do the explanation there. But Progression Athletics International, I've had some personal experience with his nonprofit and helping host a couple of sports clinics with the Boys and Girls Club over in Southeast Portland. And it's just been an amazing impact, positive influence on those kids out there. You can tell a lot of the kids that we have helped don't get that at home. And so I just want to say what a really cool opportunity it is to be a partner with Progression Athletics, and it's just a really cool organization, and it's been around for about a decade. But I'll let Shane do the background story. Just wanted to say thank you, Shane, for getting up this early and doing this presentation.
Thank you. I just want to confirm my speaker's working, right, Travis?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much. It's been an honor for you to be a part of it. You just joined the board in Portland to help us expand that region. So thank you, Travis. So like Travis said, my name is Shane Hanson. I'm the founder of Progression Athletics. We were founded in November of 2011. Long story short, I know we're tight on time, and I don't want to continue this to go on forever. But how we started was, I played college basketball. Basketball gave me a lot in my life, a lot of experiences. I traveled the world. I played internationally, and I built relationships. When I graduated college in 2011, the U.S. Embassy in Serbia heard that I was doing some work in the U.S. and wanted me to come and do a peace camp in the former region of Yugoslavia. That trip was a 10-day trip. I hosted 150 kids in the mountains of Novi Sad, Serbia. They couldn't speak English, and I couldn't speak any of their languages, as there was multiple languages. But basically, long story short, that experience really changed my life. I thought I got a lot out of playing college basketball and traveling, but actually giving back was what really fulfilled me the most. So on my flight home, I created a business plan that ultimately became Progression Athletics. And the main focus originally when we started was to work with foster youth. I feel really led to helping foster youth, as they're often in a situation out of their own decision making. Something happens to their parents, and all of a sudden you have an 8-year-old that doesn't have parents, and the state's now taking care of them. So we have multiple locations. I'll talk about some of the locations. I'll talk about the programs, and I'll also share some ways that we might be able to work together to impact the community. So let me go ahead and get this going. So I talked a quick overview. I'm going to show you a quick video that might give you a good glimpse of what we do, and hopefully enjoy it. So hopefully the sound worked. We didn't do a check there, but that video was taken last year. We did an Olympic event at Gresham Boys and Girls Club. They've been a tremendous partner for us, and we are going to continue to expand the programs. But I know I've talked to Travis, and we're looking to maybe do something in the Sherwood area. And so we're definitely open to partnerships and helping the community. A couple key facts: a lot of these focus specifically on foster youth, but it's also just an at-risk youth. Incarceration, as these kids age out and become into adulthood, there's a lot of a big repetitive cycle of, if a child goes into foster care, they often follow, oftentimes impregnate a woman, and then now that child is left in the same situation that they were in. We see it time and time and time again, and we're trying to stop that cycle. A quick overview of what our years look like. We average about 42 kids an event. An event is a 2-hour window where we come in, we teach we do an icebreaker, we introduce them to a sport, we coach them on some specific skills, and then we play that sport. There's no limit in terms of what we can do. We do volleyball, soccer, football, basketball, dodgeball, you name it, we can do it. We just need volunteers that want to help in that sport. We serve about 3,500 kids a year. Last year, we had our first ever fundraiser at the Hillsborough Top Golf. We raised about $4,000. The beautiful thing about sports and what we do is it's a high impact, low cost tool. $4,000 isn't a huge number. Our overall budget's about $75,000 a year, but that's going to be able to buy us t-shirts, buy the kids t-shirts, sports equipment, and support them. We've done some brief surveys. The one that I'll highlight on is the top right here. So we surveyed the children to ask them, how does the sport and the event impact you? But a huge number of kids say that they would like to play recreational sports, but they don't have the means. And so the next evolution of what we try to get to is, number one, build a relationship and build their confidence and support that child. But as they want to evolve and they want to go play into a sports league, maybe they don't have transportation, maybe they can't afford the dues, maybe they don't have sports supplies. We want to fill that need, and that's what we're trying to expand. We have many partnerships around the world, a lot, Boys and Girls Club locally, but we also have 2 internationally, as well as some other organizations. Just a quick overview of what we do. So there's really 4 components of our program. So we provide sports equipment and supplies to these children. We provide free sports clinics to them to introduce them to sports, and hopefully they want to excel and we can provide them that opportunity. We have international partnerships. And then I mentioned the trophy recycling program. About 5 years ago, I was cleaning out my parents' basement, and there were hundreds of trophies from when I played when I was a kid. And I'm like, I would much rather recycle and figure out how to use these as value versus throwing them away. So we cleaned them up, we replated them. It's been the single best program that we have today because it highlights these kids for sportsmanship, leadership, inspiration, and the MVP we call the PI award. It has nothing to do with how good they are, but really how they interact and encourage one another. 2 quick notes on international. It's not a huge part of our budget. There's corporate sponsorships, but about 7 years ago, there was a huge typhoon that hit the Manila, Philippines, destroyed a lot of the area. So a volunteer and I flew down with about 500 pounds of supplies. We came down and we hosted a week and a half worth of sports camps and clinics while the families were trying to recover what they lost. So that's me with a bunch of kids, and it was a really, really cool experience. Our project that we're going to try to do right here is we're going to try to build a sports complex. This is a huge drug area. There's high crime. It's a very dangerous place, so we're trying to build an enclosed basketball court for the safety of the kids. And then this right here is a big success for us. My aunt runs an organization called Build a Miracle in Tijuana, Mexico. They built about 270 houses for families down there, and we wanted to revamp this area right here. And today, this is what it looks like. It is a multi-purpose, people run small businesses out of here, and we built this sports complex Again, with big chain link fences and lighting. Again, bad area of town, but today it serves about 350 children a day. And we hired this gentleman named Orlando, and he is a full-time athletic director, 6 days a week running camps and clinics, and it's been a phenomenal program. So just really quick, obviously, you know, every nonprofit 501c3 needs financial support. But really what we're looking to do is to work with Travis and build some community advocacy and some volunteers. You know, one aspect is financial. The other is if we have all the money in the world and no one to execute, that doesn't work. And if we don't have any money and we have a bunch of volunteers, and we can do that, it's just a little bit harder. So we're looking for volunteers to come out. As Travis and I talk about programs and expanding in the Sherwood area, we'll definitely be reaching out and would love anybody to come out and experience what we do. And you can also visit our website at progressionathletics.org. It has more information about our programs and what we do. So with that, I'll stop. A couple minutes if you got questions, I'm more than happy to answer. I just really appreciate the opportunity to come out. You have a great group. I love the community that you've created. It's been fun to watch for a little while. You guys interact. So thank you very much.
Any questions for Shane?
Thanks for coming, Shane.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shane.
Thank you so much. That was really
I think this
neat.
would be a cool opportunity for the Interact group to get involved in as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
And then potentially hosting a couple clinics at the YMCA or somewhere, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing, Travis.
And Shane, that facility that you guys built down there, that was amazing. My jaw dropped when I saw what you guys were able to put together down there. That was very cool.
Some corporate sponsors, and I'm in the financial services business and work with Travis and whatnot, but there's some corporations that have been very generous and helped fund that. So it was incredible to see where it started and where it is today. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's a community-driven, you know, we're not in this for financial gain. No one's paid a dollar in our organization. It's really to try to help and build an infrastructure that's sustainable. So
so impressive.
So Shane, have you noticed with that facility when you built that and put that in, has that had an impact on the area immediately around it in terms of?
Unbelievable. So there was my aunt is down there every day, basically, you know, with her organization, building houses and helping the community. But there were a couple of gangs in the area, and there was drugs, and they were using the soccer field before it was built to kind of interact, kind of off the side of the road. And now they've actually created the gangs have created teams and come and participate and play, and the crime rate is almost non-existent. They have
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they almost have a protective feeling because my aunt went and approached them and said, well, this is for the community. We would love to have you. And they almost are acting as the security for the facility now.
Wow.
Wow.
That
is amazing.
It's really cool to see what happens with that.
Very cool. Any other questions for Shane?
Shane, are your clinics on hold during this pandemic period and maybe starting next, fall or so?
Correct. We had quite a few events. We had our biggest golf tournament was supposed to be next week in Southern California. That's our big fundraiser that raises our money. We had to cancel or postpone all events. I mean, organizations some of them are still open. I just don't, like someone mentioned earlier, if one of us is a carrier and we don't passing it along, and so we've had to postpone everything, unfortunately, right now.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let me know.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for and I apologize for us running late. Kudos to fitting that into our timeline here. I really appreciate it. But again, thank you so much. So I think I can share my screen again here. All right. So next week we will be as the 17th. I'll be leading the meeting. We don't have anyone signed up for an inspiration that day. Do I have any volunteers?
I can do it.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you. That would be great. Awesome. All right. With that, we will move on to the four-way test. But unfortunately, I have to get, well, anyways, let's do the four-way test, and I'll try to flip to the bell really quick. All right. The four-way test of the things we think, say,
or do.
First, is the
First,
truth.
The truth.
is it the truth?
The truth.
Second,
Is it
is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Fire's lit. What happened with Chuck? The fire's lit.
Ah,
Nice.
Oh, it's different garden.
I will leave this meeting open if anyone wants to stick around and chat for a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Bye, everybody. Have a great
Tim,
day.
bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Shane.
Bye.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Chuck, is
Yeah.
that your actual fire?
Yeah.
Move your head fast. Let me see. Oh, it is your actual fire.
Yeah. That's it. That was my productive use of the time this morning. I got the fire pit up and going.
You know, I was very suspicious yesterday. I was like, what are they doing? They're up to something.
That's why when I pulled up there, I was very specifically red barreling you because I was making you stare into the sun so you couldn't see we had our phones out with pictures of your front yard and our phones. Right there, right before you came out. So I'm like, he really can't see into the sun, but if I pull around, he'll be able to see what we're doing. So it worked out quite well. Lisa had a great time too.
Oh, good. Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So to be clear, you were not live in his front yard. That was a photo.
No, Lisa. I swung by after work yesterday, and I happened to see Lisa going for a walk along her sidewalk. So I stopped and violated all the social distancing rules to pick her up, and then
Yes,
I'm like,
you
hey.
did.
Do you know where Tim lives? Let's go take a picture in front of his fire pit and post those as our background pictures. So she has one as well. She was supposed to post the other one, so it looked like both of us were out there in front of his yard. That was the plan.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I've also got one for Noreen's, and I can kind of make it look like I think I'll go through and that'll be my project. I'll make it look like I'm stalking everybody. Different backgrounds. So if you see me in your front yard, Keith, don't call the emergency line. Well, maybe call the emergency line.
Well, they never got back to me, so yeah.
Yeah, they caller ID'd you.
By the way, Keith, I love your background.
Thanks.
Yes, that's nice. That's very good. Oh.
So I missed it. Why are we still on? Are you guys having a meeting that I'm invading?
No. I just said I'd leave the meeting open if people wanted to chat after the meeting. So
I have nothing better to do.
that's right.
Yes. I did have an 8 o'clock conference, but my colleague in Switzerland, who is homesick in bed, non-communicating, didn't want to participate.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I don't blame him either. Well, I've been having fun because, I think I mentioned my mother is at Friendsview Manor in their independent living area, and they have a COVID case on their floor, and they have other people that were getting sick, and these people were just wandering around. They weren't quarantining them, and so I called one of their board members actually down there, and trying to get that situation under control, because it was just a little bit crazy what was going on. Yeah.
I would just say, how could they not be quarantining people at this point?
Well, it's in their independent living section. So their initial response was, well, that's an independent area. So, but they really can't look at it that way. So they're doing a lot better now. They actually have red, green, and yellow signs that have gone on every door on whether people are in quarantine. Red means COVID, they're quarantined. Yellow means they're sick, but tests are still coming back, and green means okay. And that's mainly to warn residents and to make sure the staff know how to deal with each room as they're delivering. And we also got them, they're now delivering all their food and supplies and, you know, kitchen stuff to their rooms, as opposed to having to have those folks leave their rooms and be exposed to that. So they're making progress now, but it was a little crazy at the beginning.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
I also just have to comment. I love how your shirt makes it look like you have pigtails today. That's awesome.
Oh, look at that.
No, lean forward. You got to lean forward. There you go. Like that. That's yeah.
Well, here I can I can do better than that. Stand by.
So, Tim, did you somehow MacGyver a haircut, or have you like put product in it to mat it all down to lower your fro level?
Lower my fro level, really?
He's got a low fro.
Wow. No, actually, yeah, I'm now using product because I can't go and get my hair cut. So
I have sheep trimmers if you need them. Or goat trimmers, I should say.
some goat trimmers.
Goat trimmers.
I'll be over in 10 minutes.
If you saw the picture of the goat that I did trim, you would come nowhere near my place. Really awful.
Can I borrow those when Levi comes home? Because I think he's definitely going to need a goat trimming.
No, I'm in. That's all good. I don't know if I want to wrestle Tim to the ground, but I would wrestle Levi to the ground. It takes like 3 of us to lay on him while we shave him. So
be sure and do it carefully. You can resell that mop.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, after Matthew talked about cutting his own hair, I was waiting for Levi to say something, but
not gonna happen. Nope.
No, that was awesome.
Levi kind of reminds me of one of my younger second cousins. When he was Levi's age, he had, long, wavy,